Module 1, Lesson 11. I can multiply a decimal fraction by single-digit whole numbers and relate to a written method. So make sure that what I do in the video, you're doing in your workbook. And if you need to pause to catch up, do so. And if you even need to rewind and rewatch, do it. Whatever's going to make you successful. Problem number 5, 2 times 423 thousandths. So the first thing we're going to do is make a place value chart. So I'm going to start with my number that has the decimals. And I'm always going to start to the far right, which is the thousandths. So it says I have 3 thousandths. 1, 2, 3. I have 2 hundredths. 1, 2. And then I have 4 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I look up here, I have to do this twice. So this was my first group. So now I need to do it one more time. So 1, 2, 3 thousandths. 1, 2, 2 hundredths. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. So that was my second grouping. So now I'm going to start counting, and I'm going to start all the way over at my thousandths place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 thousandths. We have 4 hundredths. And I got to count again because there's too many of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. Can't forget my beloved decimal, and then no ones. So 2 times 423 thousandths is actually 846 thousandths. So I need to write my final answer over here. 0 and 846 thousandths. So let's now show it using the standard algorithm or the standard written method. So we're going to start with the longer number, because it's not larger, that's for sure. 423 thousandths times 2. Notice that 2 is all the way over to the right. So we start at the right. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, and that's right below the 2 and the 3. So then we move farther over to the left. 2 times 2, which is 4, and I'm lining that up below the 2. Then we're going to do 2 times 4, which is 8. And notice my 4, if I bring it down, it lines up with the 8. And then last but not least, 2 times 0, which is 0 every time. So let's look at the decimal. Here's my beloved decimal. I have 3 digits behind it to the right, so I've got to make sure I have 3 digits behind it this time. So my answer is 0 and 846 thousandths. So I showed it using the place value chart and the standard algorithm. So now we're going to try the third way to solve 2 times 423 thousandths, and that is the lovely area model, which I really like. Not going to lie. So I have 3 digits this time, so I need a little more room because you know I struggle with writing in small spaces. So I have 3 in the thousandths, so I'm going to put 3 and then thousandths. And see, I'm already running out of space. Yikes. And then I have 2 hundredths. And then I have 4 tenths. So these are all unit form because it tells me how many and what place value. Then I'm multiplying everything by 2 because I need 2 copies of 423 thousandths. So now I'm going to multiply. So 3 times 2. Duh. It's 6, and then it's thousandths, so I'm going to write tiny and try to fit it all. Then I'm going to do 2 times 2, which is 4, and this is hundredths. And I'm going to do my best to fit. And then I'm still multiplying because I've got an empty box. 2 times 4. And that would be 8, and the place value is tenths. Probably should make that 8 actually look like an 8, shouldn't I? So now I'm going to start over to the right. 6 thousandths. So I would write 0 and 0, 0, 6. 4 hundredths I would write in standard form. 4 in the hundredths place, and I'm adding these. And then 8 tenths. So I need to put an 8 in the tenths place. I don't know about you, but I need to add those. So I'm going to do 0 and 8 tenths plus 0 and 4 hundredths plus 0 and 6 thousandths. And I need to put addition. Notice my decimals are all lined up. It's beautiful. 6 plus nothing is 6. 4 plus nothing is 4. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. So 2 copies of 423 thousandths is still equal to 846 thousandths, and we've shown it 3 different ways. Problem 6 is 4 times 423 thousandths. So before we did 2 times, and now we're doing 4 times 423 thousandths. So the first thing we're going to do is make a place value chart. So we're going to start with our longer number. So it says I have 3 thousandths. So I'm going to start with 1, 2, 3. I have 2 hundredths. 1, 2. And then I have 4 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just my first group. I have to do this 4 times. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just looking up at the numbers in that decimal so I know how many I need in each place value. So that was my second group. I'm still going because I need to do it 4 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the third time. One more time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is my 4th time. So now I got lots of counting to do. And I always start over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, we know better. I can't have 2 digits. So I got to make a group of 10. And I'm going to share them with the hundredths because I know 10 thousandths equals 100th. So now I only have 2 thousandths left. Thank goodness. Now I got to count my hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hundredths. I'm still counting. Goodness gracious, look at all those tenths. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Well, I can't have 16 in one place value because that takes 2 digits. So I've got to group them in 10. And I know it takes 10 tenths to make 1 1. So now let's count how many tenths I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 tenths. Can't forget my beloved decimal. And I have 1 1. And it's all because I had too many tenths. So 4 times 423 thousandths is 1 and 692 thousandths. Now we're going to solve using the standard algorithm. So I have 0 and 423 thousandths times 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. So I write a 2, carry the 1, because that's a 10 thousandths equals 1/100th. So that's where I get that 1. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. So I write the 6 and I carry that 1. And that means I have 10 tenths makes 1 whole. So 4 times 0 is 0 plus the 1. So now if you notice, I have 3 numbers after my decimal. So I need to have 3 numbers after my decimal in my product. So that tells me where I need to put my decimal. So 423 thousandths with 4 copies of it is 1 and 692 thousandths. We're not done. So now we're going to show using the area model, which I really like. So I'm going to need 3 place values. Remind me to make myself room and not to write too big. So I have, starting all the way at right, I have 3 thousandths. I have 2 hundredths. And I have 4 tenths. I don't even need to write the ones because there's nothing in that place value. And then I need 4 copies of the 423 thousandths. So I'm going to put the 4 over to the left. So now 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 12 thousandths. Yeah, I know, I'm not fitting in my space, am I? Then I need to look at next. I have 2 times 4, which is 8. And then I have hundredths, because that's what place value I'm in. And then the next thing I have is I have 4 times 4, which is 16. So I have 16 tenths. So now I have to look at these. I'm going to start all the way at the right. So 12 thousandths. So thousandths means that's the last place value I can have a digit. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So thousandths. So I know I've got to have the 2 in the thousandths place. So the 1 must go in the hundredths. And I need to put a 0 in the tenths. Then I'm adding 8 in the hundredths place. So 0, decimal, 1, 2. 8 in the hundredths, 0 in the tenths. I'm adding 16 tenths. So that means I've got to have my last digit, which is a 6, in the tenths place. So that 1 must go in the ones. So now I have to add those up. So I'm probably going to need to go vertically. So we have 1 and 6 tenths plus 0 and 8 hundredths plus 0 and 12 thousandths. And I'm adding, notice my decimals are all lined up, beautiful. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 0 plus 1 is 9. 6 plus 0 is 6. Decimal, notice it lines up. What a beautiful thing. 1 plus 0 is 1. So when I use my area model or my place value chart with the discs or counters, or I use the written algorithm, I always got 1 and 692 thousandths. So any one of these ways is the perfect way to solve single digit multiplied by decimals. Make sure what I did, you did. If you need to use loose leaf, please make sure you labeled it number 6.